There's so many things I want to say to start this video off. But I honestly am of the belief that if I were to say anything at this point, before I've read this, that it would unfairly characterize the comment before the comment is given its fair, chance. So I'm not going to say anything. Just going to read it. Think about Yang's payment in a different way. You don't need to change your mind, but spend a moment thinking about the following. I'm also not going to interrupt. Just going to read it straight. We'll deal with everything else later. In many countries, a citizen is the property of the state. In this country, we are citizen owners of the state. What do we own? Just a name? A passport? A particular brand of patriotism? What else? How about all of it? We are citizen owners of all of it. One of those all of it things is a very powerful economy that generates massive amounts of wealth. Now, if you owned one share of a company that generated massive income, would you or would you not expect to receive a part of it in check form? Do you own any stock? Have you ever cashed a dividend check? You did zero work for that money. Why is it owed to you? Because you own a share. Same concept scaled up to the country. If you are a citizen, you own one share. So why are only the board members getting paid? When someone pulls oil that you partly own out of the ground, you don't think your share's worth is owed you? Let's go through this again. Think about Yang's payment in a different way. You don't need to change your mind. Spend a moment thinking about the following. Why would you tell me that? First of all, why are you giving me a different way of thinking about things if you don't want me to change my mind? Why are you talking to me about this if you don't want me to change my mind? What are we doing here? Like me personally, I am in a position where I actually don't really want to change people's minds. I just want people to start accessing them, right? Like I just want you guys to start using your minds. As far as I am concerned, if you use your mind to think about things, the changing of your mind will come. It'll just come naturally because you'll go, oh my God, that was fucking stupid, right? I'm not actually trying to change anybody's mind. I want you to think. If your mind doesn't change beyond that, it's because you're either A, not thinking, or your brain is somehow deficient, and I can't help you. But most people that I talk to, I rationalize with them. Right? Like, this is what you're trying to do with me. You're trying to rationalize with me. It's insane, and actually legitimately dangerous. But you're trying to rationalize with me to change my mind. Don't lie to me. Don't start off lying to me. Right? Don't do this shit. David Copperfield. My father said that he always felt that magic shows were hysterical. Because when David Copperfield comes out, the first thing he says is, there will be no camera tricks, right? We're not going to use mirrors and smoke and all that stuff. This is actually legitimate things I'm about to do, right? And then he tells you, I am an illusionist. Well, what is an illusionist? Somebody who creates illusions. And how does one create illusions? With camera tricks and smoke and mirrors and shit. They tell you, I'm not going to lie to you. By the way, I'm a liar. Right? I'm not trying to change your mind. I just want you to think about things in a different way. What the fuck is that? That's changing my mind. When you start off dishonest, I already just don't like you. When you go on to this shit from there, oh boy, do you become just scum in my mind. In many countries, a citizen is the property of the state. Yes, in bad countries. Very, very bad countries. Like China, like Russia, like North Korea, like Venezuela. You catching any comparisons with those countries? Right? where the state believes it owns its people. You understand the government rule with which those countries are under? Communism or socialism. That's where you're owned by the state. Alright? In this country, we are citizen owners of the state. Excuse me? How? We don't own anything. We vote people into power. We control the reins of power. We don't have ownership of shit. Like, we have control of who gets to decide things. We decide collectively upon a smaller group of people who will decide collectively how shit's done. We don't own shit. We own what we own. You're talking communism. We don't live under communism. You're pretending that communism exists in this country when it doesn't. Why? We don't own the state. You have fucked that in your mind, or somebody has told you some dumb fucking shit that is lies. You've been talking to an illusionist. I'm here to show you what's behind the mirror. Alright? What do we own? Well, I own everything within this room. You want to know how I own everything within this room? Because either, in the case of this chair, my parents gave it to me like decades ago, and I just still have it because I can still sit in it, it's still good. Or I've purchased it like myself. Like everything you see behind me. The flag, the whiteboard, those flags, the bookshelves, everything that's on the bookshelves, I bought from my money. The camera that I'm currently talking to, that you're seeing me through, I bought it with my money. The computer I'm going to edit this on, my money. The TV I'm going to watch the editing process on, my money. I paid for all of this. I own it all. It's mine. My property. I own it. That's what I own. I don't even have a passport. Right? I own what's mine. That's what I own. Collectively, yeah, we own a name. We're all Americans. Some of us like to dice each other up into different groups. I'm a black American, I'm a Hispanic American, I'm a this type. No, we're all fucking Americans. That's what we all are, but that's not what we all own. Believe me, you aren't owning your name. You're actually pissing on it with your thought process here, right? We weren't built on this. This is exactly why we built this country. To get away from this. You get it? And you're not taking ownership of your name. So no, you don't even own your name. And I don't own the name. I'm not the only American. It's what I am, not what I own. You have a very weird concept of ownership. How about all of it? We are citizen owners of all of it. No, we're not. Like, there really isn't an explanation to that. No, we're not. We're not citizen owners. We're citizens. We get to live here because our government lets us. If you think we have some sort of ownership of this country just because we're citizens, ask the fucking ISIS bride who was told, no bitch, we're revoking your citizenship. You're not a citizen anymore. Fuck off. Ask her how much her citizenship is actually worth monetarily. Like, one of those of all of it things is a very powerful economy that generates massive amounts of wealth. Well, we don't actually own the economy. See, the economy is made up of a shit ton, like thousands, dozens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of different privately owned companies that are owned by private citizens. That's what our economy is based upon. Privately owned companies owned by private citizens. The country doesn't even own the economy. You don't own the economy. I don't own, nobody owns the economy. The economy is the umbrella. It's the grand title that we give to all of the companies that are privately owned that keep our country running, right? You don't own shit of any other company. You don't own the economy. Nobody owns the economy. No. No. You need to look up what an economy is, and then you'll understand why I'm just going, no, that's just incorrect. You're just incorrect there. I can't even begin to explain how you're incorrect there, but no. What? No. Christ, no. This is what I was talking about before, what I changed about the country. Education. Alright? Smarten some of these fucking people up. Now, if you owned one share of a company that generated massive income, would you or would you not expect to receive part of it in check form? Well, first of all, no, not right away. I would want to let that accrue. Right? Like, let's say, for instance, I bought stock in Disney 20 years ago. Would I want to immediately take out my earnings from it every time they made a new movie? Fuck no. I would want to keep rolling that into buying more stock, right? So that I can get more and more stock. Because every time the stock goes up, all of my individual shares go up the same amount. So it's better to have 100 of shares of something than just fucking one. Because if the share goes from $1 to $10, if you have one of it, you made $9. If you have 100 of it, you made $900, right? And if you made $900 and you go, awesome, give me that $900, right? You're stupid. What you should do is buy 9 more shares. You should roll that fucking $900 into buying yourself 9 more shares. And now you have 109 shares. And when that stock goes from $10 to $20, well, you've made yourself a hell of a lot more money, haven't you? And again, roll that into more stocks. Anyways, you know, like, or it wouldn't be it'd be 1,000 shares I'd have then, right? And then when it goes to 10 to 20, I have shit tons more, and then you buy more stock, right? But yeah, sooner or later, yeah, I would expect that I would cash out my stocks. I've actually done that. I did that when I started doing this kind of YouTube. I did that 2 or 3 years ago now. 3 years ago now. During 2016, like during the beginning of 2016, I think it was like September of 2015, I quit my job. And I dumped my 401k, and I took all that money. Well, except for the penalty, but I took all the rest of the money. And I just lived off of it for like 10 months. I just didn't work for 10 months. I just took 10 months off work because I didn't want to. Like, I didn't want to work anymore. I'd worked for 13 years at the same place, and that wasn't even counting all the fucking years I had worked before that. I was like, you know what? I just want to take time off. I had a midlife crisis, whatever you want to call it, right? So yeah, I mean, I'm well versed in the whole stock thing. So do you own any stock? I don't now, but I did. Have you ever cashed a dividend check? No, I always rolled that shit into more stock. I'm far too young to be doing that dumb shit now. And you don't do that unless you have like fuck tons of stock. Like if you're playing millions of dollars in the stock market, yeah, you're cashing dividend checks. But if you're playing like hundreds, thousands of dollars, like if you're playing dozens of thousands of dollars in the stock market, no, you're not cashing dividend checks. What the fuck? You did zero work for that money. Why is it owed to you? Well, I think that you are minimizing the amount of work that I did at the company I worked for 13 years in order to buy all of that stock. See, I did actually a lot of work for that stock. It wasn't just given to me. Like, I didn't just get stock. Nobody just gets stock. Like, there really isn't like a white people thing where white people just get stuff. Like, it doesn't actually happen, right? I purchased that stock, right? Yeah. Maybe to you, I didn't do anything for the additional money that was made when the stock went up, but my investment in that company helped them to grow, which made their stock increase, which made me more money. That's how investments work, Like, you don't know how the stock market works. You need to look at how the stock market works. Investments. It's investments. You're investing in companies. If there's a company out there and their stock is worth $1 and you invest $1,000 into their company, they actually get that $1,000. And they're going to take that $1,000 and use that money to hopefully improve their business. If they're smart, at least. And if they improve their business and that stock goes up to $150, I paid $1,000 to help them get that stock up. I'm an investor. I'm investing in that company. They better fucking well raise my stock because I gave them money. I gave them money for nothing. I gave them money for a promise that they would give me back a return on my investment. Don't ever fucking tell somebody that they didn't do anything for their stock. They're gonna look at you like you're fucking insane. I said that to my dad. I read this to my dad, and he went, and I said, yeah, all that stock that you own, all that retirement that you have, you didn't do anything for that. You didn't work for 40 some fucking years at the same company and invest and work hard and manage that shit in order to try and fucking have as much money as you could when you were retired. You didn't do any of that. It was all just given to you. And he's like, yeah, fuck you. Right? It's like a child that's talking about shit that they just roughly know things about. You don't even understand how the stock market works. Why are you leaving me a really long comment where you're trying to well, you're not trying to change my mind, but you're trying to give me a different way of, you're trying to give me a stupider fucking way of thinking about it? Like, I need to dumb myself down for this to make sense to me. You get that, right? Because I understand how the stock market works. You're pretending like you do. Have you ever fucking cashed a dividend check? Have you ever bought a stock before? You realize you worked for the money that you used to pay for that stock, right? Fucking shit. Why is it owed to you? Because you own a share. Because I bought a share. Same concept scaled up to the country. No, it doesn't work that way. But whatever. If you are a citizen, you own one share. No. Of what? Of the country as a whole? What does that even mean? What does that mean? What do you own? Remember, the government, we talked about this in the video that you're commenting this on. The government doesn't produce anything. It produces money. That's the only thing the government does. It makes money. Like, as in, it prints it. But it doesn't actually generate revenue. There's a big difference between we print money and we generate revenue. Like, generating revenue is when you're bringing new money in, right? They print money and then give it away to people. They put it in circulation. They're not... So why are only the board members getting paid? Well, because you voted them in office. That's why Bernie Sanders is a millionaire. Bernie Sanders has never had a public job in his life, or a private job in his life. He's always been a public whatever, servant or whatever. That's all he's ever done. He's never made his own money. He's taken money from you in taxes. That's how he lives. That's how he owns multiple homes. You paid for it. If there's anybody that can say that, yeah, I own part of what you have, we can all kind of say, yeah, we paid for everything that all of you government people have. All of it. Technically, we paid for it. But that doesn't make it ours. We can't repossess shit from people. We paid them to do a job. It's their money now. Right? Like, we paid taxes. We did it willingly. You file your fucking taxes. I don't know if you do or not, but normal people file their taxes every year. Right? That's when you're paying the Bernie Sanders income. That's when you're paying President doesn't take a check, but whatever. It's when you're paying the income of these people. It's when you're paying for them to eat and whatnot. But that doesn't mean that you can then go and repossess their shit. The company that I worked for 13 years can't come to me and say, that TV you bought that when you worked for us, we're taking it. No. I performed a service for you for that money. It's my money now, it's my TV. When someone pulls oil that you partly own out of the ground, you don't think your share's worth is owed you. Yes. Yes, I do. Provided I own shares in the private oil company that did it. Venezuela is a country that is sitting on a shit ton of oil. They were one of the wealthiest countries in the world at a time because they had a shit ton of oil. And then the government came along and said, we're going to take over all of the oil production in this country. We're cutting out private oil business ownership. It's all going to be government run. 10 years later, the average weight loss of Venezuelan citizens is 42 pounds. That's how much they're starving. That's an average weight loss. That's how much all of the people of Venezuela are starving. They were the second or third most wealthiest fucking nation in the world. And now their people are starving and rioting. We don't have that kind of a system. That's why we're not starving and rioting. You're talking like we have that kind of a system. You're talking like a Venezuelan. Why? You haven't seen what's going on in Venezuela? You want that shit here? Seriously? Asinine. This is asinine. This is exactly what I was talking about when I said we need to educate people. This motherfucker thinks he knows some shit. And he doesn't know a goddamn thing about anything. But he's leaving me a comment with buzzwords that would, if I was far fucking stupider, I would think, oh, this guy knows something about something. But you don't know shit about nothing. Everything you said in that was crap. It was all daydream. If only everything was owned by everybody, wouldn't we all deserve a share? It's disappointing. It's just disappointing. Because that is the ideology that led to hundreds of millions of people dying. And I think I actually have the number right on that. It's like hundreds of millions of people dying. Under communist and socialist rule, hundreds of millions of people dying. Jordan Peterson told this story about how he read in a book or something like that, that in the 40s, within 10 years after communism really hit Russia, in the 40s, people were selling corpses for food. I don't ever want to get there in this country. But that's the mindset that got them there. And that's the mindset that's going to get us there. This unrealistic, we own everything thing. President Obama fed you that line of horseshit in his "you didn't build that" speech. And that was just as much ignorant fucking bullshit. President Obama doesn't understand how the economy works, doesn't understand how business works. It terrified me when he gave that speech. Terrified me. It told me we put an extraordinarily ignorant person in charge of our country. Why did we do that? And here we are. With a whole lot of fucking morons running around thinking, well, you don't own that. Fuck you. I actually am a private business owner. My business is entertainment. I actually do get paid for this. Right? I'm a private business owner. You don't own fuck of my money. I built this. This is all mine. I started it. I own it. I paid for everything to get it going. I pay for everything to maintain it. It's mine. You deserve fuck all of it. I've worked hard to get where I am. You should try doing the same. You'll get a lot farther than begging.